Okay, did you see the report in the Daily Mail about what Ruben Amorim really told Alejandro Garnacho when his time was up at Manchester United? I'm sure you have. If you have, get in the comment section and talk to me about it. Give me your opinions on this. We are live. If you haven't, I'm going to tell you what he said, and then you can go in the live section and tell me exactly what you think about it. It's Forever United TV. We're live. It is the evening, Tuesday evening. Manchester United play tomorrow, friendly in Malaysia. Ooh, that's exciting. Not. I'd rather have the season done, as I've said all along, but we're dealing with it. We're also bringing you the news tonight on Bruno Fernandes, that update on him, Manchester United chasing another teenager as well. But we are starting, of course, with that news, that report from Chris Wheeler and Nate Salt from the Daily Mail regarding Bruno Fernandes. Now, I want to go through this and give my opinion on this, my concerns about it. Obviously, I do like it ultimately, and I do think that these players need that kick up the arse. I think every United fan knows that Man United players need that, but there are different parts of this that I've got issues with that you probably won't believe me saying this with my opinion on what I've said before about backing Ruben Amorim, what I thought of Garnacho, but we'll go through all of that as well. And of course, please do get into the comment section and let me know, do you feel like this is the right way to go about it? Is Ruben's hard hand what these players needed? I'll give my opinion on plenty of what Ruben has done so far, so you tell me in the live chat. But first of all, let's bring up what was actually said and what Ruben Amorim actually told Alejandro Garnacho. Now, this, I think, it's going to go down differently with everybody. I think is what we've learned from this. I think it's quite clear that Ruben had enough from what has been said. But the actual quote from Ruben Amorim, apparently, this is according to the Daily Mail, was Ruben Amorim's message to Alejandro Garnacho in front of the squad. Now, that might be an issue on its own. In front of the squad, you better pray that you can find a club to sign for before you come back to pre-season with Manchester United. That's what Ruben Amorim has said. And it's all come from that final. You can understand, like, if you look at it in a certain way where, like, Alejandro Garnacho's gone to South American media after the final. We all know what he said. Shit season. Not beating anyone in the Premier League. I've played I've played in every round leading up to this final, and I only get 20 minutes in the final. Obviously, he's done me out big time. And Ruben, I mean, how forceful he was, we don't know. The first thing with this, and let's break this down as to our concerns or where we go with this now and what happens next. When you look at this, you go, right, okay, first of all, Ruben is in charge. I don't think there's any player probably surprised that Ruben has said this or said this to Garnacho's face. Why? Because he's got form for it. If you didn't understand what Ruben was about in the season we've just had, well, let's not forget, Ruben Amorim has already dropped Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho for the Manchester derby. First of all, that was strike number one with Garnacho, really. He's come back and he's trained. He's probably a little bit younger and a little bit more naive, or it would seem that way anyway, when dealing with situations like this. Rashford's just seen his ass. He was the leader of the pack, and Ruben has literally taken him out, and everything else has fallen apart since. Like, Rashford was the leader of the gang, basically, and he took him straight out. He just went right in for him. He went for the main man and dealt with Marcus Rashford. So everybody at Manchester United knows that Ruben Amorim is like this, and no man is bigger than the coach. No man is bigger than the manager. So in terms of doing this in front of the squad, got no issue with that. It's not going to really cause any surprise or any concern with other players, like Ruben's in charge. It has been a shit season, and every single one of these players has to be held accountable for. So if someone's going to come out and run his mouth after this absolute nightmare of a season and not take any accountability for that, which Garnacho didn't, then Ruben has told him. Now, the next concern about this for me is, will it affect Alejandro Garnacho's price? Now, this came out, and the Daily Mail again has now come out and said that there are concerns at Manchester United that this news now may affect the price of Garnacho on the transfer market. We've got a problem player, and now everyone's going to take advantage of that. United wanted 60 to 70 million. Anyone coming in for Garnacho now knows that United want rid of him and are going to bid United in the balls. Simple as. Yes, but the Daily Mail reporting this and saying this is one thing, but the media leaking this out in the first place is the bigger picture here and the bigger issue for me, because that, I think, is where this actually falls down flat on its face. It's like Ruben Amorim has probably done something here that he thought would have been kept in-house. And he can do what he wants to the players in the dressing room, say what needs to be said. Well, what this has done, it's proved that the leaks are still there at Manchester United. The leaks at the club are going to be there forever and a day. It's this whole fresh start and this whole new era at Manchester United, and Ruben is really cracking the whip. But somebody inside Manchester United, someone in that dressing room, is still leaking information out. Now, maybe this was Garnacho's people. I don't know. I mean, did you see the pictures of Garnacho in that training kit launch for next season today in Malaysia? Good God, if there was ever a man that didn't want to be there or have a face of a player that didn't want to be there, it was Garnacho in that piece today. Like, get me out of here now. I'm a spoiled brat who thinks I should be playing every single week because I've had one overhead kick and a few decent performances. Get me out of here, player. That's what we're looking at. I mean, if I was guessing, it probably could have been Garnacho to defend himself that's leaked this. I would say that would be my guess. But someone has. Someone has said this, because the Daily Mail are running it. First of all, who at the club has given the information to David Ornstein in the first place to leak the news that Garnacho has been told to go and find another club? And then who has spoke to the Daily Mail and said that this is exactly word for word what Ruben Amorim said to Alejandro Garnacho? It's just a bit of a shit show, isn't it? Really. And again, it's making Manchester United look like a circus. We all knew that Garnacho wasn't flavour of the month. We all knew that Ruben was probably going to sell him because of what happened in January. We were all talking about this before the final anyway. I've been talking about it nearly every single week. And then as soon as the season finishes, bang, we get this bombshell and the news is leaked out. Garnacho gets dropped from the last game of the season. Everybody starts to speculate. Everybody starts to talk again. And all of a sudden, Manchester United head out to Malaysia. News has been leaked. Whether it's from there, because I think Chris Wheeler is over there in Malaysia as well. So this, again, it's just making Manchester United look a bit stupid is what it's doing. And just to clarify, I haven't got a problem with Ruben Amorim with some old-fashioned, old school managerial techniques here in terms of punishing the players or outing the players in front of the rest of the team. If they're going to run their mouth, then they're going to have to deal with the consequences for it. I've got no problem with that. But how can United can we not just get through this bleeding season and sell Garnacho before this news comes out? No, can't. And again, I think it is the feel sorry for me factor within this Manchester United squad which is causing the problem right now. It's how can a manager talk to us like this? This is not normal, and this is what happens. Like that quote was said with Sir Alex Ferguson when he said, if you've got a club that is changing managers continuously, the players believe that they have got more power. A new man coming in. Well, the players are staying and staying. They're getting used to it, and they're getting more and more power where the new managers are coming and going. It gets to be the norm. And that's where United are at right now. And I think we're going to have to go through a bit more of this. There's going to be a lot more fallout, I think, even just from the Garnacho situation right now that United have to deal with. And I really look at it and go, I've got no problem with Ruben's approach to this at all. It's not Ruben that leaked this, so let's not blame Ruben on this. It's the club that's leaked it out to Ornstein, and then someone inside Manchester United has leaked it to the Daily Mail, because I don't think you're going to get the likes of Ornstein coming out and saying the exact details of word to word what Ruben Amorim said to Garnacho in front of all the players. Like, Ornstein broke the news that we all care about, which is what Ruben Amorim has done and acted on. And now we've got this little bit, this side act, basically, is what it is. Like, nobody cares. Nobody really gives a shit. All it does is put Ruben Amorim in a position where now people start to know what he's really like. I mean, could someone have leaked it just to, put the scares? The scare is up. New players coming in. Am I digging too deep on that? You start to think all different things and everything that's been said. Like, someone inside, again, is leaking news out to the media, and that is the bigger picture in all of this. This is what is the concern, again, for United, because I've thought, and it looked like the leaks and certain things, team news being leaked, was eradicated. It was all over the news and everybody's been talking about it and we knew it. And it went quiet for a bit and now something significant has happened. I think it has to have come. I mean, if I'm guessing, like I said before, maybe it's Garnacho. I don't know. I don't know who's leaked it out. But I haven't got a problem with Ruben. I haven't got a problem with the approach. I ain't got no issue at all with what's happening right now. It needs to happen. But does everybody need to know about it? That's the big point in all of this. What I'm asking you, if you feel like this is the right way to go about it. Has Ruben got the right approach to this? So let's get into the comment section on this now. Do we need to know as much as well, everybody? I'm not bothered. I like that we actually are knowing a little bit more what's going on with our club. But some things, I mean, just can we not just keep it a little bit quiet, put a lid on it and just deal with it, and then we can all find out maybe later on? Ruben may have wanted Garnacho to be at the club next season, but player himself does not want to change his ways. Ruben has every right to be unhappy. Definitely agree with that comment there. V33, that was come from Sub N. Thank you for that super chat. V33 says, love it. Guarantee you, Sir Alex Ferguson, I've said worse things. Oh, yes, that's what we're talking about right now. And that's what I've said. Like, what would Sir Alex Ferguson have done in this situation? It wouldn't have even got to this situation. But Sir Alex Ferguson said it himself in what I just said then. Back in 2013, if you allow the players to get any form of control within a football club, it's the end. And the structure, the culture, everything that goes with it will just fall off a cliff. And this is what's happened to Manchester United over the last decade and so. And now we've got somebody in who wants to change all of this. And I think there are big strides being taken forward with United in terms of the football side of things and how it's being run. There is a big effort, I think, to make it clear to everybody that there's no more messing at Manchester United. The summer camp feeling has gone and left Carrington, and I just feel like that's where Manchester United want things to go. And they're trying to, I feel, try and make it look like Manchester United are taking control back of their own club again. And it does look like there is a part of that happening. And we're having the last little outburst from certain players. And there are little issues going around everywhere. Now, in complete contrast to that, did you see what Matheus Cunha was saying when asked about Ruben Amorim and what he said about him? Talking about him is easy. I think he's a great coach and I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he conquers the world as he did in Portugal. Matheus Cunha apparently has been talking about what he wanted in moving to Manchester United. He is one of them. He's the pragmatist. He's the one that's going to relish taking on the pressure of wearing Manchester United's number 10. These are the characters that Ruben is crying out for at Manchester United. Not the players that are crying and crying out, as in, look at me, look how badly I'm being treated. And that, I think, is the angle, I think, from United here. And I think this is what they're trying to build. The culture is the biggest thing to change at any football club. After it's been left for so many years and it's got so bad, I think this is the most difficult job Manchester United have got. Because without the culture, without the understanding from the players, without the players being on board, no matter what the tactics, it's still going to go out the window and we're still going to be crap. So I just feel like there is a big push from the club to make it clear and make the message clear about what's going to happen and how this club is going to go forward. And I think it's coming in these little snippets of news that are leaking out that Manchester United are not standing for this anymore. We are going to be a club, we're going to be united, pardon the pun, going forward, and everybody, from the board to the coaches to then the players, is going to understand the whole vision of what's necessary and where United are going. I think that's what it is. I mean, it's a good point there. And I was talking to Kaz before, and it's like, if you was a player in that dressing room, would you be distancing yourself from Alejandro Garnacho now? How awkward is this for the players? Because I've seen it's like Cobby's his best mate. He's come through the academy. And this was the problem. And do you know what this reminds me of right now? And just before I get onto this, and please hear me out on it as well, Kobbie Mainoo is not an issue at Manchester United. Not like Garnacho is. But this reminds me of what happened to Marcus Rashford with Jesse Lingard. It's just got that vibe about it. It's bringing a player down and bad traits and bad attitudes. And I think that this is very similar. Now, I'm not saying that Kobe is going to go down the same road as Garnacho. We've already got an agent of Kobe Mainoo's actually coming out and trying to get Manchester United to pay his client, who hasn't played a full season yet, 180 grand a week wages, because he feels like he's a full international who is playing alongside players like Casemiro, who is on absolute fortunes. Yes, Casemiro, that player who has won every single trophy under the sun several times, on absolute fortunes. You can argue the point whether Casemiro deserved that or not, but one thing is for certain, Kobe Mainoo isn't even in the same conversation as Casemiro when it comes to wages. Outright. It's like, get in line, you're a prospect, and you've got to earn your place in this side first of all. That we've discussed many a times. That's the only issue with Kobe, and it's mainly coming from his agent. So no, I don't think there will be a problem with Kobe Mainoo. I don't think we'll have anywhere near the same attitude problem that Garnacho's got. But he is his mate, and what does he do? It's like he's clearly seen Ruben Amorim out Garnacho in front of the whole squad. And he's made a point of doing this, and he's done this deliberately in front of everybody. If you're going to talk to the world, I'm going to embarrass you in front of the players. I'm going to let everybody know what is going to happen if you cross that red line that he has talked about several times in his press conferences and interviews. And now if he sees Kobe Mainoo laughing or joking around with Garnacho, what's Kobe thinking? Is the manager thinking that I'm actually being pally with him? Am I picking up them bad traits? Is talking to Garnacho now, after what we've heard and what he said to him in front of the players, is this going to affect any of the players in how they act around Garnacho? I mean, look, Garnacho's done what he's done and he's being punished for it now. But what will happen to the rest of the players? And this was my other point from this. It's like, what is the effect on the squad? What are the senior players thinking about Alejandro Garnacho now? Remember what Bruno said about what he did and how he reacted to the crowd. Remember what Bruno said originally about Garnacho, about his attitude. And he came out and everybody had a go at Bruno Fernandes for coming out and saying something. Like, there is form here with Garnacho. It isn't his first rodeo. He has done this before. Maybe not to this extent, but it's been building up to this. And the warning signs were there as soon as Ruben walked through the door. And Ruben has given him his time. He's praised him in front of the media. And he's given him his chances. He has given him his chances. And at the end of the day, he's not actually done horrendously bad. He just thinks he should be in a different position than where he is right now. He thinks he should be playing every single game. Because he's played a few games because everyone's been injured, he feels like he's got a right to be in that final. And he doesn't. He really doesn't. Because somebody's probably showing a little bit more than him in training. And you can talk about Mason Mount all you want and how Mason Mount has just come in and Garnacho's been forgotten about. And why should Mason Mount be having that position in the team? Look, Mason Mount can't help that he's injured all of the time. What Mason Mount is going to do is prove to Ruben Amorim when he gets back into this squad that he wants to be part of this project. He wants to be in this team. And he's going to bust a bollock trying to get into Ruben's minds and getting in that starting lineup while training. He's going to give absolutely everything. And somebody's probably just stepped ahead of Garnacho and proved to the manager that he wants it more. And going into a final, that's probably what Ruben was looking for. And Garnacho doesn't like that decision. Well, I'm sorry, mate. You're at a massive elite football club where professionalism seems to have been forgotten about, and now it's starting to be brought back in. Deal with it. I've said this about Kobe. I don't care if you feel like you're worried about your position in Ruben Amorim's squad. Go and prove to Ruben that you belong in that squad. Garnacho had a chance. He didn't take it. See you later, mate. And now you're going to deal with the consequences of it. Hopefully he finds another club and does well. Because there is a talent in Garnacho there. We're just, again, at Manchester United, not going to see it. And that's the sad thing in all of it, again. It is what's happening at Manchester United. The day-to-day of this football club it's draining the heart and soul out of this team, out of this club, out of the manager that's just come in now as well. And it's going to take some serious backbone from a lot of people above Ruben Amorim to back him on this. Because there is a clear issue at Manchester United and they need to attack it together. So, them comments that we spoke about last night about Manchester United trying to trim their squad down. Ruben Amorim then spoke this morning on the press conference saying that Manchester United can't do much this summer because of financial fair play. No, we can if we do sell the players. But then again, the players that Manchester United want probably don't want to come in to Manchester United because we haven't got Champions League football. And if you are a player looking at Manchester United right now and looking at all of this that's going on, and you've seen what's happened to Garnacho, are you now being put off by what Ruben Amorim's like and how the club is run? How Garnacho has been outed in public for what he's done and what he's said? Are you worried about this? I mean, I'm playing both sides here with this as well. I'm opening it up to everybody. Is it right or is it wrong in how this has been handled by Ruben Amorim? Really, what we're saying is it's probably right how it's been handled, but it's wrong in how it's been dealt with within the media and how it's leaked out, and somehow everybody knows exactly what's happened behind the scenes at United. This should never be the case, in my opinion. Let's get a few comments on this one. Ghana wouldn't have been playing this much. I don't think, if Ahmad and Mount were fit. Amorim would have got rid in Jan without injuries. He won't play. Sorry, if we get 2 more 10s as well. Look, how many times have I said this all along? Garnacho will be the fall guy. I kept on saying it all the way through, even when Garnacho was doing better. I said, look, Ahmad will come back. You've got Bruno. The rumours of Cunha came in, and I went, someone's going to go. Someone has to be sacrificed. And it was always going to be Garnacho. You know, you've listened to me forever and a day talk about it. And I always thought, like, from what happened in January, Garnacho obviously was open to moving then. And if there was anyone who was going to be sacrificed in Man United's forward line this summer, it was always going to be Alejandro Garnacho. There wasn't anyone else in front of him, I don't think. So that's where we're at, I feel. And I think he really did just nail his own coffin shut with his comments after the final. And Ruben, look, you don't mess with him. Look, I said it a minute ago. Like, he did it with Rashford. Garnacho, if he comes back to pre-season training and hasn't got a club, then he is going to be in isolation. He's going to be getting the Rashford treatment. There's no way back for anybody who crosses Ruben Amorim. I think that's quite clear now. And I think that's what that comment meant. You better pray that you find another football club and don't have to come back to pre-season. Otherwise, his life is going to be miserable. Because I don't think Ruben is too concerned about Garnacho even coming back. He will deal with him how he wants to. And I think that's the warning. Which is why we're hearing stories from Fabrizio Romano about his people and his representation doing overtime in trying to find another football club for him. And that, I think, needs to happen desperately for Garnacho now. Mount will come right in the pre-season. You can see his dedication. Mount's been fit for a while now, which is good signs. I think what have we had from Mason Mount now? A couple of months from him. So that's a good. I disagree. It's pretty obvious that Garnacho's people leaked this in order to try and get sympathy for the player. He's got great potential, but he needs to grow up and earn the money he's being paid. Now, really, I haven't got a problem with what Garnacho's on either, which makes this one even stranger. It's like, this is a player that isn't asking for much. Ruben put him out in front of the media, don't forget, before we played Bilbao, which I didn't think was right, but Garnacho apparently wanted to do it. So, fair dues to Garnacho. And I remember praising him at the time for putting himself out there to speak, because he's come under a lot of criticism, and he knew the questions that were going to be thrown at him were going to be difficult ones, and he answered them. I've got a contract here. I'm happy here at Manchester United. Himself saying that to the world's media would make you think that, okay, maybe he does want to work under Ruben Amorim. And that's because he knew he was playing. As soon as he was put out, everything went to shit. And this is what's happened now. And that's why where we are. How many times did they say that then? That's why we are where we are. Boxing says, if we sell every first team player for 25 million, 25 times 25 equals 625 million. There's your rebuild. Yeah, but who wants to come to a failing side, and what quality players will we bring in for that, Boxing? That's what we've got to think about as well in this one. Also, regarding the Matheus Cunha situation, this is just something that's come across now. David Ornstein has just broke this one. Manchester United have made contact with Wolverhampton Wanderers to submit an opening offer to sign Matheus Cunha this summer. Cunha has a release clause of 62.5 million, which Manchester United have asked to pay over 5 years rather than the required 2, but Wolves expect the contractual requirements to be met. Interesting in terms of David Ornstein coming out with this now. Let's just go through a few more of this. This was David Ornstein directly from The Athletic. So this was David Ornstein's actual tweet. Manchester United contact Wolves to submit opening offer for Matheus Cunha. United asking to pay 62.5 release clause over 5 years, but Wolves expect 2 years. As stated in contract, personal terms already agreed for the 26-year-old. Move expected to happen. So really, Fabrizio Romano was give this the here we go already. And I mean, I don't know, like Romano doesn't get many things wrong, and I think this is a done deal. There's nothing to worry about. But it just goes to show, doesn't it? Everyone has a different look on what's actually happening within a certain situation or transfer. Look, the agreement for personals is in. United will get their man. They're happy to meet because Cunha has already signed for United, basically, and he's made his decision. He's going there. It's a formality. And there's no rush, really, because United can't do anything until next week anyway. So this will all be dealt with. Again, I just think there's a few people trying to make a bigger deal out of something that's not really there regarding this deal not being done yet. But we know that it is. Romano would never do a here we go unless it was definitely in. Quickly, just to update you on the Liam Delap, there's been an ongoing situation throughout the day. It's going to be a day by day, sometimes now probably hour by hour update regarding Liam Delap right now, because Manchester United obviously waiting to hear if their proposal is going to be accepted by Liam Delap. Manchester United are optimistic that the signing of Liam Delap will work out. Decision up to him. The package for sporting quality and price makes him a top priority for Manchester United. That's a report coming out earlier on today, actually. I'm just going to bring up the journalist who said that one now. Yeah, that was Christopher Michael. That one, I think, was in line with a couple of other ones, which was United were going for the sporting quality and price. Chelsea were going in with the fitting in and playing in the Champions League side of things. Everton were going with the contract, big wages, and then being able to leave in 2 years if they hadn't got to a certain level. And then Newcastle came in the last few hours, literally today, apparently, with a bid to talk to Delap directly. They had only spoken to his agents, Romano said, where Everton, Chelsea and United spoke face-to-face with Liam Delap. Newcastle didn't, but now they are going to. So they are fully on in as well on this. And I think it's probably just given Liam Delap a little bit more to chew on and think about over these last few days of this week. So, yeah, that's where we're at with your transfer news at the moment. Thank you, everybody who has already liked the video. We're up at the 300 mark already, which is epic. Cheers, everyone. Let's get a few more of your comments in regarding the whole Garnacho situation. He had a second chance to redeem his United career at the start of the season, and he's blew it. Yes, he has. Red Terry says, more like we suggested 5 years. They said 2 years. We met in the middle in terms of Cunha. I would say that's where that 3-year one came from that was being reported earlier on. I agree with that one, Terry. Amorim has lost yet another talented player and one that gave all and cared about the results. Sorry, mate, I can't agree with that one. Did he give it all? No, he didn't. And that's why he was left out of the squad. And so, no, he didn't give it all. And any player can say he cares about the results. Talented players, yes. Talent comes secondary to hard work. Everybody knows that. And Ruben wanted him to do something he wasn't comfortable with. And therefore, Garnacho didn't want to work hard enough to get himself... I'll teach him... I still can't bring myself to say it. Our professional cannot handle doing something different or understanding a different set of rules or a different way of playing. It still pains me to say that these players could get away and use that as an excuse. It's embarrassing is what it is. What's the current subscriber count? Oh, you want to know the subscriber? We are on 79,000. I think we're just shy of 79,400, Jonathan. A lot of people asking for me to pop that back up on the screen. I may design something and put it on. I was just drawing it all back and just doing some basic normal content rather than having all of the graphics and stuff. Just changing it up, making it a little bit more intimate. Sorry if anybody is loving the fact that the subscriber count was up there. I may bring it back up. There you go. That's for all of you people who want to know exactly how close we are to 80k. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. We will be getting closer to it. I did do another video earlier on regarding Rasmus Højlund as well, everyone, which is their definite interest from Inter Milan. That's why I've left that story going across the bottom of your screen there. That's the latest transfer news we have got regarding an outgoing right now. The Bruno one won't be sorted until Saturday, Sunday, Monday, when we're back from the Malaysia tour. Now, it's still being said, and Chris Wheeler has ran this report as well, and Nate Salt in the Daily Mail, that Bruno Fernandes is still mulling over that contract offer. We've heard fans in Malaysia chanting Bruno stay while they were in their open training session today over there in Asia. And again, I don't think this structure, this management team are going to be taken aback by any fan opinion anymore. It was a mistake that they made last summer with the outcry for Ten Hag to stay. The big poll from The Athletic, keep Ten Hag, we're just beating City in the FA Cup final, all of that jazz. I don't think they're going to be bowled over by that anymore. Bruno Fernandes has a decision to make for him. And Chris Wheeler has said that there is still a chance this could go either way. Bruno can still leave. And Bruno leaving will, I think, determine where this transfer window actually ends up going. In what direction, how much money United spend, what players we bring in certain positions, and what quality of players we bring in certain positions. I talked about the link to Adam Wharton this morning. I think would come into United if Bruno Fernandes was sold. If Bruno's sold, United go out and buy a 8. I think we still want to go out and buy an 8. But the other story is as well, Manchester United's other target, Edison, is actually a target for Al Hilal to take if Bruno doesn't actually sign for Al Hilal. Ironic, isn't it? I know, but that's where the transfer situation is at. It's a little bit of a triangle at the moment with United, Al Hilal, Bruno Fernandes. I feel personally like the club know they have to move Bruno on. I think that's where the club stance is. I think Ruben wants to keep him because he knows he's probably not going to get another Bruno Fernandes this summer. And he might be gone by the end of the season if things don't go right. And Bruno can hold up his own in numbers to keep Manchester United afloat in a season. We know it. We've seen it. And a lot of people are talking about what these players and new players coming in, better quality players, would play like alongside Bruno. I think a lot of Manchester United fans just want to see significant actual change now, and a Bruno Fernandes sale for that amount of money would, in their eyes, show significant change, and that Manchester United were looking to really change the status quo, and everything that has been, Bruno's not bad, but Bruno can help change everything in the value in what Manchester United get for him, I think is the best way of putting it. And it's not like Bruno hasn't give everything for Manchester United. No one's saying that. What we are saying here is that Bruno's price can change everything for United in the future. Dwayne, thank you for the super chat. I love Garner, but his attitude is his kryptonite. Yep. Bigger than he actually is in his head. That's what he feels. I'm pretty convinced of it. Jason says 100 million for a 31-year-old is too good to refuse, just like Liverpool did with Coutinho and Suarez and reinvested it in the squad. Maybe United will look down these ranks as an example as to how it can change the fortunes of a team. Because big signings, big sales, like Coutinho went, in came Van Dijk. Players like that then jump up onto the scene, and all of a sudden you start to change the actual shape of your team. Bigger players have left Manchester United than Bruno Fernandes in the past, and United have carried on. Could we just be seeing this now as the next step forward for Manchester United in going back to how things used to be? Not one player is bigger than the club. Bruno Fernandes has not been a problem throughout his time at Manchester United and has always been a go-to for every single manager that he's played under at United. But the circumstances right now are extreme for the football club. And I think that's what's going to rule over in the end here. I think this is what's going to make the decision for the club itself. Let's see. Onana has been linked with absolutely effing nobody, unfortunately. Just quickly on the goalkeeper front again, in terms of the updates, there is no extra updates on the goalkeeper apart from United want another keeper. United, at the moment, I feel can't afford to let Onana go. That's where they're at. No one's going to come in and bid what they need to sell him for. Next summer, it may be that Onana is sold on. This summer, Manchester United are probably going to have him sat on the bench more, and he isn't going to be United's number one. That's the hope anyway. Quickly, just on top of the news that was running from the Daily Mail as well, who are over there in Malaysia right now. Manchester United are leading the chase for highly rated Southampton centre-back Harley Ebsdom James and could sign him for $1 million in compensation. Very similar to the Aiden Heaven situation again. Another centre-back. Why is there no forwards on these bloody gem lists for $1 million? Like, we've got Chido, I know that, but we could do with some forwards right now. But yeah, another central defender for Manchester United, and I think that's another positive that we're doing work behind the scenes regarding the younger players again, while still trying to obviously buy the right players in for the now. Keep your comments coming in, everybody, please. I'm going to read through as many of these as I can now. Maybe keep Bruno till January just to bed the new team in, then flog him. Teams out of the Champions League by then will be looking to sell assets. There won't be a lot of decent teams out of the Champions League by then because the Champions League runs through January now. And by the time the window is finished, we're only just finding out who dropped out of it, the Champions League. So it doesn't really work for that spirit, I'm afraid. Let's see, Skynet says Bruno isn't a 6. If that's where he's going to play, then he should leave for 120 million and give us the funds to buy a keeper, 45 million, a 6, 45 million, another winger, 30 million. Andrew, that was from Skynet. Andrew says, any issue a player or the club have should be discussed and resolved in-house, not for the public either, by the way of interviews or social media. We need to get back to United together against the rest. United against the world, basically, what it was. And, yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen these days, though. Social media and everything, like you just said there, is taking over the world right now in football, and it's always going to be there. There's no way that we're going to not find out about things. It's just that this one, I think, could have definitely been dealt with a little bit differently. I think it could have been dealt with better, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, I mean, I look at that, and I've said my piece on it at the start of the show. I do believe that Manchester United now have to try and look forward. They have to think of what Manchester United, and I think Ruben has said this, what Manchester United are going to be like at the start of the season. And I just look at what Ruben is saying there. I think he wants to fast forward everything to get to the start of the season and have his team in front of him. In other news, I did a video. Go watch it, please. I did the Rasmus one on Forever United TV. On my other channel, Football Talks, I did the video earlier on about some Manchester United targets actually going to some of our rivals. Manchester City have now entered the race for Ryan Cherki. And obviously, again, that's simply because Manchester United, like we discussed this morning, have Brian Mbeumo at the top of their number 10 list to come in alongside Matthias Cunha. We will not be signing Ryan Cherki. He is off the radar when it comes to Manchester United potential transfers now. It's not going to happen, everybody, sadly. I thought it would be a good player, but there are other targets for Manchester United. But City now are in for him. We're hearing from Portuguese sources. I don't know how serious they are, but Gyökeres, a bid has been submitted from Arsenal, a full package worth approximately 70 million quid, including the contract for Victor Gyökeres. So that again is, I think, inevitable, but still not nice to read. There are better teams in the Premier League than United at the moment, and this is what we're going to have to suck up a little bit. It's not nice seeing our rivals take some of our targets. It's not nice seeing our rivals thrive while we're in the middle of our demise. But we still have the opportunity to turn this around, I think. We've still got the chance, I think, this window to keep moving forward. Start moving forward again, I think, more than anything. And I think Ruben knows what he needs. And I think Ruben has told the club what he needs. And that's all I can hold on to. And I just pray as a fan that this club actually act on what Ruben needs, act on what's necessary. And I think Bruno Fernandes is going to be a big, big part of that. A massive part of that, in fact. Sternlove says Bruno is maybe our best player, but he is right. Is he right for the system? He runs, but his press rarely works. 100 million for a new CDM and striker is good for me. Gifted membership there from London. Thank you, London. I think everybody's thinking that the money for Bruno Fernandes will be reinvested into Manchester United squad. If it is, then it goes a very, very long way. And it's like a little bit of a bonus for Manchester United to sell Bruno Fernandes right now. A little bit of a bonus in that we can now look to buy the type of players that Ruben Amorim knows have the right attributes and characteristics to work in his system. But like I said yesterday, don't forget, also, Manchester United are buying players that are not just for Ruben Amorim's system. The data analysis is doing its job, and Manchester United are running off the top of that to bring players in. That, I think, is going to work with any manager coming in. So where Ruben is going to have the final say, like he has said before, on players coming in, there is still a big, big push from Manchester United themselves to bring in the right type of players in general for United going forward, even past Ruben Amorim if he does leave Manchester United in the future. So I think that's what we've got to remember as well here. It's not just for Ruben Amorim this, it's for Manchester United going forward. And this new structure has to make its mark this summer. It really does. If Ruben Amorim is going to make these big statements in smashing this culture to pieces at Manchester United, in bringing out these high-profile players, hanging them out to dry in front of the squad, and making an example of them, then he has to get back in this summer, because I can see some of these other players that have lingered around. And I just mentioned a moment ago, like players like Kobbie Mainoo, who's best mates with Garnacho. All of the relationships that Garnacho has got at Manchester United, some of the other South American players, like what are they thinking right now after what has just happened? Where are their heads at? They're all over the place, is what I think. They've got no idea what's going to happen next. And Garnacho is part of this bleeding squad, and he's going to be with this Man United team up until the weekend, playing in a couple of friendlies. And what's worse in this is, and I don't know, and I picked up on this before, and Ruben Amorim in his press conference earlier on was saying that the opportunity that they have got as a club here to teach some of the kids, i.e. the academy players that have gone out on tour with Manchester United, what it's like to be a Manchester United player. And I think he was alluding to the fans, the welcome, the worldwide fan base, and how big Manchester United are. But I think there's a small part of him that has done this now, taken Garnacho, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're the pin-up boy for Manchester United. You're not just going to be out of Manchester United's squad. You're going to be there in front of everybody, still training and doing the same things that everybody else is doing without a chance of getting into Manchester United's squad. Don't mess with the manager, basically, is the message that I think is being sent here. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what wage you're on. It doesn't matter if you scored the goal of the season, if you've got a massive contract, how long you've been, if you came through the academy. It does not matter. If you're playing for Manchester United, you're playing for the shirts, and you need to play and keep certain standards to be in this Manchester United team. And I think showing that a couple of Manchester United's academy players in Rashford and Garnacho this season alone, in the last 6 months of Ruben Amorim, in the isolation that they have got, or the treatment that they have got from Ruben, I just feel like that's like a single message to every one of the younger kids coming through at Manchester United right now, that, you know what, you're not going to get away with it. Nobody's going to walk into this team. Not one player. No matter how good you are in the academy, what your price tag was, you still got to work as hard. Simple as. Let's get a few more comments in. AJ says, if they are rattled by that, then it will expose the rest of the weak mentality players. It's true. Barbara says, Mainoo can go for me, not worth 180k a week. Sweet for Morgan Gibbs White. If Bruno goes, especially as Forest have only got UEFA Conference, White is a warrior with an unbelievable engine. And just on that one as well, with Shirkey going into going into City now. It's between him and Gibbs-White, has been said by Romano. So after both of them, Gibbs-White may miss out on his move to Manchester City as well now that Shirkey has gone over there to the Etihad. So, or is being linked to go to the Etihad. Not there yet. But all of that information is on the Football Talks video that I did earlier on. If you haven't already, go and subscribe to that channel, please, everybody. Make sure that you do get onto that and watch the other content coming out about all of the other transfer news floating around the Premier League as well. Quickly, just it's the last few days of our football prizes deal this week. 99p a ticket, and being with a chance of winning this signed Sir Alex Ferguson shirt, frame shirt, fully authenticated with certificate of authenticity. The link is in the description now, everybody. Some of the mods will drop that into the live chat as well. That is a signed frame shirt of Sir Alex Ferguson. In that drawer as well, there are many other Manchester United players' signed shirts as well. Get onto that as well, please, everyone. In the community section on the channel, there is more details on this prize. It is running out this week. Your last chance to get a ticket for it. Only 99p. Worth a little dabble on that one. Please spend to your means. Obviously, don't overspend. Buy what you can. But for 99p, maybe grab yourself a few tickets and you might be lucky in winning that amazing prize. Thank you again to Football Prizes, another one of our partners here on Forever United TV. Stu has just kindly dropped that one into the live chat now for you all, so that's pinned up for you in there. Obviously, our other partners in OK Jerseys, our kit partners are in the description, and of course, Match Bingo. More on them tomorrow as we go into the friendly game as well. So yes, make sure that you're tuned in tomorrow. We start at 8 o'clock in the morning, as always, building up to the game. We will be doing a watch along tomorrow. So that's going to be the content-based news in the morning at 8 o'clock. Then the watch-along is going to be on Big Up. We'll have a little bit of a build-up to it on YouTube probably as well. We'll decide what we're doing content-wise tomorrow, but you'll be fully up-to-date with everything going on. And, of course, we're on Liam Delap watch now. Decision in the next 3 days. So which way is he going to go? I mean, so what I want you to do is get into the comment section now and just tell me, is it right what Ruben's doing? Is this what Manchester United needed? I think we're all sort of happy that we are starting to see some real change at United regarding the players, but is this right? Get into the comment section and talk to me, everybody. Let me know your thoughts on that. Please drop a like on the video. If you do, we may even get close to that 500 live like mark again this morning, people. This afternoon even. And of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, please, everybody. And be on the journey. We are getting closer and closer to that 80,000 subscriber mark. Thank you, Dwayne, again. I was just going to say thank you everyone who did donate and drop a super chat in. I wanted United to get Gibbs-White when he left Wolves, and now he's an 80 million player. Props to him. An example of work hard and results will come. Yeah, they will. And he's also now started to appear in the international scene as well for England. So credit to Gibbs-White. Yes, that is our show this evening, though, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. That is our third one here of today on Forever United TV. Thank you for all your contributions throughout the day. Like I said before, hit that subscribe button, please, everyone. Give the video a like on the way out. Make sure you get your comments in below on all of the topics discussed. And I will see you all at 8 o'clock in the morning.